My name is Jai Lane. I'm 18. I started coming to Horizon Sydney Southwest last year. Life before I came to Horizon Sydney Southwest wasn't the best. Grew up feeling like really lost. Grew up feeling, like didn't know who I was. Really felt like a void inside. All that stuff. Like struggled with like a lot of mental health issues growing up. And yeah, like as far back as I can remember, that's like what it mostly was, just, like getting into trouble and stuff, and yeah, just like dealing with and trying to deal with like, mental health, and even the environments that I'd grow up in, like that as well, it was like pretty tough. Like I've always had a problem with anxiety when I was like young. Like even when I was like 5, I used to like have anxiety attacks and stuff. And like when I started getting older, when I started like hitting high school age, like had a lot of like suicidal thinking in that. It's like such a common problem amongst me and my mates and stuff. It was, but no one really knew how to deal with it other than like, turn into like other stuff, Like I remember the night before, or it might have been like 2 nights before I actually came to Horizon for the first time. Like I hit like a point that it was like, all of a sudden, all them things that were like bothering me my whole life were like, they just started to like close in on me, and I couldn't really like, I didn't really have an escape at the time. I was trying to like better myself in like a worldly sort of way. Like inside, I still had like a void. I still had like darkness inside of me. I didn't know what it was. And so like that night, or it was 2 nights, whatever it was, before I came here, was, I really had in my mind that, I wasn't gonna be like alive for very long. Like, so for the first time in my life, like I said a prayer. I didn't even like know who I was praying to, but I was just like, I just remember like laying in my bed that night, dark room, and I started like talking to God. Like it was just saying basically, like whoever you are, like I need to know you. Like I need you in my life. Because I'd heard about like Jesus and stuff from my mum. Like she'd always tell me about like, she'd always tell me about like church and stuff, Jesus. But I just never really understood it for myself. I thought Jesus growing up was like for like a different, for like a higher class of people. That's what I thought like growing up. I thought Jesus was for like the rich people, the people that, had everything in life. People like me just didn't have a chance of like, getting to know like Jesus and all that. Like, so I was just praying that night. I didn't even know who I was praying to. Like I said, I was just asking whoever was out there that, I needed them. And I went to school that next day, and I was like very like down and stuff. It was probably like one of the worst I've ever felt. Probably the worst I felt in my life. I was like going through it. I was like in all sorts, and like I got picked up from my sister that day from school, and she tells me about this youth group, this place, and and I'm like, oh, what? Like, I was like, I didn't really want to like know about it at first. She didn't really say anything about like Christianity or anything like that. She just like said like, oh, there's a bunch of teenagers hanging out. Do you want to go? Because my nephew Leon was actually he was keen about it. Like I think like before I heard about it. So like she said, oh, well, he's going. Do you want to go with him? And at first I was like, I didn't really want to go at all, to be honest. Like I was like, nah. I just wanted to go home and just stay in my room. But like as we dropped him off, I looked out of the car window and I just seen everyone like just having a good time. And I just felt like this peace in the air, and I felt this pull that it was like telling me to like I needed to be there. So like just as we're about to go, I took my belt off and I just jumped out of the car like last second basically, and I came here, and it was that night like changed my life. I didn't really know who to talk to. I seen a few people who were now like some of my closest friends, and like at the time I didn't really like know them or like even like think they were like normal people. I thought everyone was like sort of like in their own world here sort of thing. And then like we had praise that night, and Like I just remember like being in the back and I was seeing all like everyone just like having a good time dancing, and they started singing about like Jesus and stuff, and it was like it sort of freaked me out at first. It was like how are they so happy to sing about this Jesus and stuff? And there was kids there that looked just like me, you know, like you know, they just connected with me like on that level that I would with my old mates and stuff in like the, you know, other areas I grew up in. So like seeing them sort of people like here praising Jesus as well, like really like shocked me at first. It was like never seen before to me. They started getting into the word that night. I can't remember who was giving the word, but like whoever it was, everything they were saying was just word for word my situation. I was in the back row and a few kids around me were like, you know, like not paying attention, and I was like, I just started like, you know, I started like weeping to myself. Yeah, I started like crying. I was trying to like hide my tears, and you know what I mean, and like wiping my tears away and stuff, and you know, because like everything that person was saying, and I was just like, it was like hitting home. I'd say that was the first night that I felt God. It was like the realest thing that I ever like felt. Peace, joy. I felt like a deep joy inside of my heart for that like brief moment. And then like I left that night, went back to my normal life, and it just left. Feeling it that night really like it really had this thing in me. It was like, I need to keep like going back to it. I need to keep like searching for it, you know, because it was like something I never felt before. And like I had, you know, I did a lot of like stuff in my life that was like, you know, like substance and stuff that gave me like that temporary pleasure in that. And then around winter camp time, I felt like I was really on my way in terms of like finding what it was about, you know, finally getting it. I can't compare it to any other thing I've experienced in life, you know. It was just so, you know, like time just like stood still on that night. After camp, I made a decision on like, you know, give my life to Christ, and I did that in my own room at home. That, you know, that same room I said that prayer in, and it was like the second time I said a prayer in my life as well, and it was just so happened to be giving my life to Jesus, and that's when I fully made the decision, and you know, life changed ever since. Horizon Church, what it means to me is just the place where I felt home. You know, I feel so at home here. Not even here, just at Southwest, but even when I go to, you know, Sutherland, I just got that deep sense of like home, and like it's like, you know, I got a deep love for this place. You know, sometimes there's no place I'd rather be, but you know, here, just like, you know, with the other youth leaders and stuff, and yeah, it's like my second family, my second home. So yeah, the reason I became a youth leader was just to see more people like me, you know, come and find God for themselves, you know, come and get to have that relationship. You know, that's what I see for Horizon Southwest is, you know, it's a place where people can come and you know, fully experience that, you know, that relationship, you know, without any shame or any guilt on, you know, what they've done, stuff like that, like stuff that I used to think that would hold me back from coming to a place like this, you know, that I'm just really excited for the future of Horizon here, and like to see what happens in new people's lives that will come here, you know, just like me, and you know, just so excited to see what, you know, their stories and, you know, the generational curses that they break, you know, like, you know, I can't wait to see it.